My name's Craig, and I'm a tutor over here at the Mathnasium of Cinco Ranch, and today we're going to be spending a little bit of time going over integers. Now, integers can be a pretty confusing topic, but once you understand the fundamental concept, it's not too bad. So, let's start with the definition of how it really works. So let's take a number line, and here's 0, and over here we've got the number 4. Now, what would the opposite of 4 be? Well, you might say that the opposite of 4 is negative 4. And you'd be right. The opposite of 4 is negative 4. And oftentimes what we like to think of as negative as an opposite. So a normal 4 means that we're moving to the right 4 spaces. So what does the opposite of that mean? Well, the opposite means that instead of going this way, we're going to be going this way 4 spaces. So we just changed direction. So it's the opposite direction. So what would the opposite of negative 4 be? Well, the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. So the opposite, if we take negative as being an opposite, the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. These have the same value. So if we have a double negative, let's take a look at what really happens here. So when we apply the first negative, that means we're going backwards now. So we're going back here to negative 4. But then when we apply the second negative, we're now going another opposite direction. So instead of going left 4, we apply the opposite again, and we're now going right 4. So that's why if we have a double negative like this, or subtracting a negative 4, then we're at a positive 4. So then that plays into our factors when we're adding or subtracting numbers. So let's take 16 minus 4. So this is pretty simple. It's pretty clearly 12. But let's see what happens. So we have a positive number here. Positive numbers increase our value, and then we're subtracting a number here. So let's take a look at this number and the signs that are on it. So we have a positive 4 here, but we're subtracting it, or taking it away. So in essence, the value of this number is going to decrease our total value because we are subtracting it. Another way a lot of people look at this is that we're adding a negative. But ultimately, this increases our value and this decreases our value. Now let's take 16 minus negative 4. So let's look at what happens here. This increases our value. But if we've got a negative number, that's kind of weird, right? Is that going to be increasing or decreasing our value? Well, let's look at the number and all the signs that are on it. So we've got a minus sign and a negative sign here. So what does this look like? This looks like that minus negative 4 or negative 4 we had earlier. So these two signs actually cause us to change direction. So when we start just with the 4, this isn't increasing. We apply the first minus/negative sign. That reverses our direction, and we're decreasing. And then we apply the second one. Oh, well, we were decreasing, but now we change direction again and we're increasing. So if we look at these, we have two increasing values. So do they work together, or do they work against each other? Well, in this case, they're both increasing. So we have an increase of 16, and then a further increase of 4. So our total value is 20. And it's positive because we're increasing. So we're going to look at one more case. So if we have a negative 16 and then minus a negative 4. So let's look at this value. We've got a negative 16, so that's going to be decreasing value. And then over here, we have minus a negative 4. So we have two opposites that are going to cancel out and make essentially a positive. So this is increasing value. And so, let's look at what these are doing. We decrease by 16, but then over here, we're increasing by 4. So do these work together, or are they working against each other? Well, they work against each other. These parts cancel each other out. So we decreased, we went down by 16, but then we increased by 4. So these parts cancel out. So this 4 is going to cancel out this 4. So instead of decreasing in a total by 16, we only decrease up to here, which the difference was 4. So instead of decreasing by 16, we're decreasing by 12. So they cancel out. So in essence, if we have a negative number, it's going to be decreasing. And if we have a positive number, which this becomes a positive, it increases. And we just have to look at if the numbers work together or if they work against each other, and then that can help us figure out our final answer. So that's it. I'm with Mathnasium of Cinco Ranch, and thank you.